Hi there, welcome to 20 for 20. My name is Grace Roebuck with the Elks National Foundation. And today I'm joined by Nish Karumuri, a 2019 Most Valuable Student Scholar sponsored by Huntersville, North Carolina, Lodge number 1823. So thanks so much for joining us today, Nish, and it's so good to see you again.
Yeah, I'm super excited to be here. I love the Elks.
Awesome. So, we just have a couple questions to run through. And my first one is just, introduce yourself to our Elks and kind of tell us about you and where you're from.
Yeah, so my name is Nishitha, and I usually just go by Nish. I'm a sophomore at the University of North Carolina in Chapel Hill. I'm currently home right now, but I have been living there. And I am studying health policy management with a minor in business. So I'm super interested in healthcare. I think the situation we're in is really ideal for me because it's really amazing to see all of the just cracks that I've seen in the foundation of our healthcare because I'm just more inspired to come up with more solutions for our system. And yeah, my free time, I enjoy painting and baking and working out and reading. And yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Awesome. Thanks so much. And yeah, couldn't agree more. Like the pandemic really has highlighted all these cracks, right? In so many different systems, especially healthcare. So it's like so awesome that you want to go into that.
Yeah.
So you kind of already answered my next question, so I'm gonna hop down. But we'd love to know like why did you apply for the MBS scholarship, and like how did you first hear about it?
So during my senior year, I was just doing like a lot of different Google searches for scholarships. College becomes more and more expensive as the years go by. So I was just looking for ways to kind of help supplement my education. What I really liked about the Elks is their focus on service, because that's something that has really been important my whole life. In high school, I like founded the HOSA Club, which is like a healthcare club. And a lot of the stuff we did through that was service based. We like held like 4 different blood drives. We created like first aid kit drives. There was like one of our members' mother passed away from ALS and she had like a small foundation. So we had like a bake sale to raise like $500 for that foundation. So just like a lot of my life has been focused around service. And initially for a really like long time, I wanted to be a pediatrician because I love giving back to people. And as I got older, I realized I don't have to work in a clinical setting to give back to people, especially in the healthcare. And like now that I've seen the situation that we're in, like I'd really love to work for the Department of Health and Human Services and give back in that way. So yeah, just the service focus with Elks was really important to me because I've just always believed that service is my passion and it fulfills me just so greatly. I like tutored in high school all throughout, and I did peer tutoring at my college as well. So just like I love helping people, and like when I see people succeed or find their own passions or whatever it may be, like it brings me my own joy. So it's just been great to meet a community of people that have that same passion but for like different services. So it's been great to like just work with those people as well.
Yeah, totally. Oh, I feel that on so many levels. I'd love to like it's so great to hear about what you did in high school with the HOSA club, and your like ongoing passion for health. I'd love to hear like what you're up to in college to continue that passion or like just in general what you got involved with since you started college.
Yeah. So prior to the pandemic, there was this club that I was involved with where we would go to a local elementary school and teach them public health topics like hand washing and just like what is the flu and like what are vaccines, simple things like that. But like I said, like I love working with children. So it was really great to kind of combine those two passions because children just view the world in such a different way. So it's really great to kind of just like get down to their level and think about some of the really big concepts that we see today in their eyes. And like, unfortunately, because of the pandemic, they just haven't had to have like in person, like after school activities, which is when we would go. But that's something we're hoping to resume. And I've joined the Pre Health Honor Society at UNC, which has
Ooh.
a lot of different service elements. We go to the Ronald McDonald House and help a lot there. And that's something I'd actually never done before. Like coming to UNC, I'd only heard about it. And it was just really great to be in that environment and see what organizations like that, like how they support the community, because we were able to like make breakfast and serve some of the people that were just like living there, and just like hearing their stories and, you know, their situations, like it just makes me realize like how important little bits of service are. And this like goes back to high school, but when the hurricane hit, my school turned into a Red Cross shelter because
Oh,
we were
wow.
closed for a week. And so there were people from all over North Carolina coming and staying there because they had nowhere else to go. And it was just, that was something that really changed the like way I viewed service in general, because all I did there was like help serve food or like put out blankets, but it just, or just even being there made such a big difference for those people, knowing that like people in the community cared and were willing to listen to them and actually help them and never let them feel like they were a burden. I think that was the biggest thing for them that made them feel really comfortable. So just service activities like that, like I'd love to be able to get back and do those kind of in-person ones. And I donate blood a lot. That's not necessarily like a large service activity, but that's something I'm super passionate about. That's why I started blood drives. And so I'm glad that's something I've still been able to do while the pandemic and the situation's been going on, and donating platelets as well. So I love that there's like individual acts of service that you can do, that you don't always have to be in a community or a group. I feel like that's the big like aspect of service everyone thinks about, but there's like there's a lot of ways to individually give back, which I think it's important to highlight in the times we live in now.
Totally. Yeah. So, wow, you're really giving like everything, even parts of yourself. So that's like so great to hear, and super cool to hear about your passions. Um, I was going to get to this a little later, but like since you've started to touch on it, I'd love to hear like what does service mean to you? Like, what is that?
So for me, I think service means being able to support your community in any way possible. And a community is such like a vague term. It can be literally the town you live in, your neighborhood, your school, even your church, whatever it means. It's just like a group of people that you're able to support. And it can be financially, emotionally, physically, in whatever way you can help that community. So I feel like it's important to think of service as like a really broad term, because you don't always have to go in and like volunteer at a soup kitchen. That's, I feel like, our like golden image of service when like everyone thinks of it in their head, but there's more than one ways. While I worked or I volunteered at a hospital in high school, and one of like the big things we did was write cards for different occasions, like if it was Valentine's Day or Halloween, Christmas, anything, and we would write those cards and leave them for the patients who were going to be in the hospital on that day. And that's pretty simple, and that's like, you don't even get to see the patient, but that's a really big act of service because you're able to make them feel like a bigger part of the community, and you make them feel cared for. So just acts where people feel cared for and appreciated
Mm,
and supported in any way, shape, or form, I think is service.
totally. Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. And like on that letter writing, we did something recently with the foundation where we, um, around like Christmas time with a nonprofit here, we donated like gift cards to either McDonald's or Subway, along with like handwritten cards from scholars all across the country. So it's really cool to hear about like your passion for that, and we definitely like share in that that value. Um, so, another one of my questions is, it makes total sense why you applied for the scholarship, and obviously why you got the scholarship, because you're so involved in service and academics and just really caring about your community. What did receiving the scholarship mean to you, and like what did it feel like when you heard that you got it?
I was honestly, first of all, I was really excited and I didn't expect it, because once I'd applied, I kind of was starting to do a little bit more research on what the Elks, like I had never heard of it, or I'd never had any friends who had received it. And it was just crazy to see like the number of people. I watched a lot of YouTube videos of like people making like reaction videos and just like describing it. And it was crazy to see the number of people like involved in the organization. It was
Mm,
so nationwide. It was just something that it made me feel really excited to be a part of some like large organization that had such a good like mission statement and commitment. And it's been really freeing, both like financially and emotionally. It's nice to receive that financial support to be able to go to college and do the things I want. I can focus on things like unpaid service and volunteering rather than having to work a job to support myself, which I'm really grateful to have that opportunity, because not everyone can be in that situation where they can spend that time devoted to service. And just it, like I said, I feel like amazing to be part of an organization. I really love all the events that we've done with the scholars, because meeting other people in the community, that's not part of the financial scholarship, but I think that's something I can't put a price on. Just meeting all of these different people that have similar minded interests and just have the same values as me has really just strengthened the network and like the connections I've made. I feel like I've grown as a person from receiving the scholarship, because I've been able to like meet so many people who just push me to be better, both like academically, emotionally, and like in a service aspect. So it's been an honor to be a part of the organization.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm the first to say that you are like a star scholar, have been coming to so many virtual events, but not only like coming to them, since and for any Elks watching this who don't know, in the wake of the COVID pandemic, when we couldn't do our service trips, we had to shift, and we decided that we still wanted to embody service, and we wanted to have our scholars be able to connect. So we launched this virtual events programming, where scholars have been coming and doing different things, but it's mainly just a hub for them to get to meet each other and ideate and have fun. And so Nish here has been a star, because almost every month, I think she has signed up for something, multiple things, and not only signed up to be a part of them and come and like has came and been such an active member, but she's also been hosting them and constantly like giving feedback and really making the events what they are and so successful. So like first off, a huge commendment to you, Nish, and like a huge thank you. But also I'd love to know like what pulled you in, like why did you start attending these virtual events, and like what got you like hooked in the first place?
So for like the first semester, actually from like March of 2020 till like 2 weeks ago, I was living like in my childhood home like in my hometown, because my college went virtual. So I was feeling like a mild sense of isolation, because I wasn't able to like connect with all of my college peers, and everyone was just even more fragmented and scattered. So just in a virtual setting, it can be hard to try and like connect with people. So when I saw that Elks was having these virtual events, I thought it would be a great way to like meet new people that I had never met before. And the minute I went to my first event, I love the environment. I love the students. Everyone was so friendly, and all the activities we were doing were like really entertaining and engaging. I think that can be really hard virtually. And I've seen like the effort that the Elks has put in with like the different types of events, like the holiday party. And like I still have my pumpkin that I received from the Halloween. It's actually in my room in college, because it's yellow and my whole room
Wow.
is yellow themed. So it sits there. It hasn't rotten yet. But just little things like that. My Elks like pin and flag, I still like have them in my room from just the different events that I've gotten. So it's been great to meet all of those people. And like the service trip, that was actually something I even wanted to go on, but it didn't work perfectly with my school's like winter break. So I'm like glad I'm still able to kind of meet all of the people and hear about the opportunities that existed prior, because I was able to meet some people that went on the service trip that was like in San Diego, and hear about that. And now whenever those come back, that's something I definitely want to go on. But I've met so many different people, and it's been really great, because I feel like everyone is motivated to meet people and talk and discuss. And I feel like it's just like a really productive, but also really social environment that hour or whatever I'm on, and like meeting people in different time zones. And like when I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so dark here because it's 6 p.m. and some people are in California watching the ducks and like eating lunch. So just like little things like that, it creates a really nice sense of community, and I think is a really great substitute for what I feel like a lot of students are missing from the college environment, because they're distanced, whether geographically or just like socially.
Yeah, totally. Oh my gosh, that duck moment. I think it was Ryan, right, who shared it.
Mhm.
That was like one of my favorite moments from our virtual events.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, yeah. Oh, it's so, like so great to hear that, and I cannot believe that you still have your pumpkin. Like that's like must be like a new record.
I love it so much and it matches my decor. Like I'll have to send a picture. I wish I'm just like I'm back home right now, but if I were there, I would totally show you guys my pumpkin. I love it. And like I said, all of the every note that you've sent with like our little reimbursement checks, like I've kept like they go on my cork
Oh,
board. Like
oh,
it's just been really great. And like even my freshman year dorm, the Elks like pennant that I got was on my
mm,
wall. So it's like I've just felt really honored to be a part of that community. I wore my Elks hoodie with pride. Like I very much like scream Elks pride now. And it's been really great to get to know some of the people that are actually involved in the program as well.
oh, that's so great to hear. I love hearing that. And yes, I will definitely need a photo at some point. But just to springboard a little more on the virtual events, like, do you have a favorite one that you think has been like the best so far?
I think the speed dating event was
Mm,
my favorite just because I was able to talk and meet with so many people. I know it didn't necessarily have a theme or anything, but just like being able to talk with people, it almost felt like we were just in a normal room talking to each other. It kind of really took out that virtual element, at least for me. Like it felt
mm.
so natural that I was just having a conversation with these people all over. And it was just really great to get to know some of these people. Like now I follow a lot of them on Instagram. We even have a group me where we still talk sometimes. So I was able to form those bonds that you can't really form unless you're able to socialize with like people. So it was just a really good like connecting and bonding Elks experience.
Oh, good. Yeah. So for Elks watching this, one of the virtual events we did is a speed friending party where we had, I think it was one of our most attended events. We had like over 80 signups and I think over 50 students come, and we all just went around in different breakout rooms and we had like fun questions and topics that scholars could connect on. And then at the end, a group chat that Nish had made was shared, and so scholars could stay connected and stay bonded. So it was like really cool to see too those connections happen.
Mhm.
How do you think it these virtual events and just like everything so far has strengthened your relationship with your Elks family?
I feel like without these virtual events, like I said, I didn't know any Elks prior to coming to the first virtual event. So they've really made me feel like a part of the community. I don't think if I had like attended any of these events, like I don't think I would have felt as a part of the community. Elks would have just been some scholarship that I received annually, but now it's so much more. It's more than just like a financial incentive. I've found a community of people and it's great to see all of the like organizations and things that they're doing as well. Like I feel inspired to partake or support some of their ventures or just collaborate with them. So the virtual events have really strengthened, and I think it's made it really accessible because I know with like before the pandemic it was only the scholar trips and there's probably like a limited number of seats, so only a certain number of scholars would ever meet each other. But with the virtual it's kind of unlimited opportunities. You can hop on from wherever in the world at whatever time and get to meet other people. So I think it's been a really great opportunity that I think should still be continued to the slightest degree if possible when we have in-person things, because it's just I think it fosters a really nice community and more people feel integrated into the Elks community and are like aware of what the Elks are, and it's a great program to be a part of.
Yeah, totally. And we will definitely still do them when service trips are back on the table. So it's like it's great to hear that that would be something that you'd want to continue. Um, so just a few more questions. Like we just talked about how it strengthened your relationship with Elks family, but like what does Elks family mean to you? Like what is this community to you?
I think this community, like I said, I call it a family, but I think it's just a really safe space that emphasizes service. Those are two really things I need to emphasize. The safe space, because every time I come to any of these virtual events, I feel like it's a place where, like I said, I feel safe. I can trust the other people. If I have a problem or anything, these are people I can come to and talk to about it. I feel like we create a space where everyone and anyone is accepted. There's never any type of uncomfort like or distrust felt within the community. So that's really great because I think it can be hard to form those bonds just in like a virtual setting. And then just the emphasis on service, it really, I think, brings the family and community together because there's the small Elks family, but then it's everyone we support individually. And then as a community, it creates like both a really large impact, but also a narrow impact within our own Elks family. So I love that dual relationship that we can have with both the Elks and all of the communities that we can serve together.
Awesome. Yeah, that's such a great way to put it. And so my last question for you is, to all the Elks watching this, and potentially some scholars too, if you could say anything to the Elks, what would you say?
First, I'd like to say thank you for your commitment to the organization, for your predecessors for founding the organization in general. I really appreciate the community that you've been able to build and the opportunities that you've given me and my fellow Elk scholars. I without the program, I would have never met Grace or anybody else in the program who I consider genuine friends now. And to any future possible Elks, I think this is a great scholarship or foundation to get involved in general. You'll just be able to meet so many like-minded people and just a great community of students who will honestly could become your best friends. I think it's just a really great organization to just meet people and accomplish amazing things.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Nish. That was amazing and such a great interview, and look into your life and what the Elks and all of the different happenings have really meant to you. And thank you so much to all of our viewers for turning in. If you liked the show, hit the like button below and then subscribe on our YouTube channel. And thank you so much for connecting with your Elks family, and hope to see you next time.